Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about assists, and assist synergy, how you can use your assists in order to complement, I hate you, Dimension, I hate you. But yeah, how you can use it in tandem with your movement. We will be discussing strategies in order to actually take full advantage of your assists. We will be talking about certain movement patterns. And we will talk about how to avoid and bait your opponent's assists. So, before we begin, I'm going to start this the same way I start everything, talking about the biggest things that I see wrong. The biggest problem that I see, especially if you have like a beam type assist, like especially if you have a C-beam, oh my god. Those of you with C-beams are probably the worst at this. I see this. You just super jump, kind of floating around, doing nothing, call an assist, and then run up behind it and take your turn. And if it hits, you know, like if it hits, actually let's do this. You know, you try not to do anything. If it hits, you then confirm with your 2M, blah, 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 blah. Really, really easy, really dumb. This is not neutral. And this is not how high-level players do neutral. This is not how you should do neutral. Because this is very, very easy to avoid. Even though this is an easy confirm, you know? I do. And no, we're going to leave it there to immortalize what happened on Saturday. Star can hold that. I'm kidding. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. This is not how you want to use neutral. This is actually not very good neutral. This is not very... It can work, but you shouldn't do this. The second biggest thing that I see is not being careful or understanding how much block stun your assists actually have. So, if this is blocked, that's about 32 frames of block stun. The thing is, most assists, like let's say we'll do, actually I have on Cell's team, I have this. This is a very common one because a lot of you guys play 21, so I do see this quite a bit. And that's this. So if I do this, I'm going to run up, pretty minus. I'm going to be pretty minus when I do this. Watch. So let's do this. I'm actually +4 right there. So if I do something like run up, call my assists, and then jab, and you're not careful, hang on, let me see. Damn it. You can kind of jump out of it if you're not careful, if you're a bit late. You can actually end up running into some issues, especially against characters with a frame 1 DP, because technically you're no longer plus, that's a frame trap. And when it frame traps, your opponent has a little bit more wiggle room, especially if you're doing something like in the air, like you're moving, and then you call that, and then you run up. That's actually a lot harder to make plus. Boom. Yeah, exactly. Trunks A is good. These things are good on hit and whatnot. However, the problem usually starts coming in the form of when your opponent reflects, and your opponent should absolutely be reflecting your assists in neutral, and vice versa. Like, you absolutely want to get into the habit of reflecting in neutral. It's very, very good. It's one of the few places where it's actually really good. But what's really, really interesting about it is the fact that, like, if you have an assist like this, which is true block stun, that you cannot guard cancel super dash, you can't guard cancel out of that block stun. If you're plus, you're plus. So if I do this, the problem is you start engaging in... Oh, wow. I don't know what this has against assists, but you can reflect again, and you enter what's known as the reflect mind game, where you can reflect. Oops, you can reflect and do nothing, or you can reflect, double reflect, and then try to take your turn. Point is, you just created an ambiguous situation where you're kind of like an RPS, basically, when it really should be your turn. So you want to be like super, super, super careful with this. But you do generally want to, hey Muzi, how's it going? You do generally want to actually reflect assists and be super, super, super careful, unless you're banking on the reflect mind game. But this is actually not a bad place to be. At high level, most of the time you'll see a reflect block. However, if your opponent knows how much blocks on this is, and they see that you're late, like here, they'll just go ahead and take their turn, because there's nothing you can do. And so on, so on, so on, so on. So you want to be super, super, super careful with that. That's a huge, huge thing. Just because you call your assist. Even Vegito, which is actually not that much block stun, even Vegito, you have to be kind of careful when it comes to using. When it comes to full screen assists, you don't want to be able to just run up and take your turn. It's super, super dangerous. So this is rather... Sorry about that. This is rather difficult to deal with. This is probably the biggest habit besides this. Because I see this a lot. You know, sometimes double jump. Now, that's kind of not exactly a great situation, because even with assists that are reflectable, which you are kind of already banking on the reflect mind game, there's usually an advantage to using them. But you have to be very, very careful. And we're going to talk about the different assists, how different teams synergize, and more importantly, we're going to discuss a couple of movement patterns that can actually win you games. You will see these movement patterns at high level. And more importantly, you'll learn how to interact with your opponent's assists. So, rule number 1, your assists are a very important commodity. You don't want to just spend your assists willy-nilly, because if you do not win neutral, you are vulnerable. Especially if you're a C assist runner and you're not careful. So if you're a C assist runner, you're going to have to deal with that absurd cooldown unless you DHC out, which is not exactly the best, because it weakens you defensively in a lot of ways. One of the biggest weaknesses of a C assist, and this is why I don't generally like them, is because unless you DHC out, which by the way you really shouldn't DHC unless you're on hit, is this absurd cooldown means you're weak. So let's say you get put into a really, 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 really nasty situation. Let's say you get mashed on, you get put into Oki from a short combo, and you want to reflect tag. You can't. Until the assist comes back. That's a problem. That is actually a really big weakness. You can make up for it with C beams, but the thing is you have to be super, super careful, and your movement needs to be clean and on point. I'm rusty. But that's essentially how you're going to get used to it. So, now, what do we do? How do we mitigate this? How do we mitigate this? Because, you know, if I spend my assists, I'm vulnerable. Team Gohan is really cool. You know, Team Gohan's got this, you know, he's got this. But these are all kind of giant commitments. You know what I mean? So you want to be very, very careful actually using them. Because if you're using them and you're not paying attention and not managing your assists, but your opponent still has their assists, you're going to have a really bad time. Because now your opponent has unequivocally an advantage to actually come in, put you in pressure. If they actually win their turn without spending an assist, now they get to put you in real tricky situations. Especially if they have like assists like base coup, for example. Like if this team that I'm playing right now, if this team hits you, you're gonna have a bad time. You know, you have stuff like that. You know, make it harder to react to. That was not base coup A. Which, by the way, if you guys play base Q, please play base Q A. There's really no reason to play any other assist. You know, you could do stuff like that. Stuff like that, curse cross-up, shit like that. So, like, your pressure essentially becomes way more threatening. Way, way, way more threatening when you have assists. Yes, I agree, Divisor. Base Coup A is goated. It is a fantastic assist. You know, you have a lot of options. Vegito A is also goated. This is an amazing assist for neutral as well. The reason why you see a lot of top players, for example, you'll see a lot of them like doing this sort of thing. This is to bait the super dash, bait incoming movement, and be ready for anything that your opponent does coming in. But more importantly, if they hang out in this zone, it's because they're buying time for their assists to come back. Your assists, write this down if you have to, your assists are one of your most precious resources. Use them well and use them wisely. Your assists and proper assist utilization is what's going to win you games. Guaranteed. For absolute free. It is what's going to win you games. That's why if you have a team that doesn't have proper assist synergy, or you're using assists that don't necessarily complement your characters and you're not taking advantage of what your characters are capable of, you end up weakening your game plan as a whole. Because even if you are a really, really godlike player, even if you are playing at like an insane high level, you're still going to work harder than your opponent, even if you win, because you're trying to make an assist that just doesn't work. And even though Dragon Ball is very lenient with that, you don't generally want to put yourself in that position if you're doing something like competing in bracket. That's not an easy position to navigate. It's not really fun to play that way unless you really, 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 really like your characters. And you can run into some serious issues that way as well. Like, for example, you lose out on damage, you lose out on DHC, your meter build's not going to be that great, or you're not taking advantage of your mix-up opportunities, so now, like, you have to kind of deal with normal, universal pressure, which, you know, we've talked about here. It's good. You know, it's good. But you have to kind of... It's good, but, you know, it's a lot easier when you have proper assist utilization that's going to help you win stuff. Like that. Not only that, certain assists can actually boost your damage off of particular assists and whatnot. Like, I'm sorry, some assists can actually help your damage off particular starters. Like, for example, Teen Gohan, his DR starter is actually not that great because he has no way to sliding knockdown without using his smash. And then his Oki's not that great as well, but if you have the right assist, you can actually start extending into some really dumb shit. Let's see if I remember any of them. But, like, here's an example of how Teen Gohan... You know, you could do stuff like bomb into 5-hit combo, and then vanish that way, but you can't DR again, so it doesn't matter. Point is, you can put yourself in a position where you can actually begin to really, really hurt your opponent, and potentially take games. Now here comes the important thing. How do we even use these assists? How do assists like these work? How do we even begin to think about them? And if I can't just double jump, you know, do this and call them, how do I use them? Well, unfortunately, the answer... Teen Gohan's Oki is a little bit weak in some regards. It's not necessarily bad by any stretch of the imagination, I shouldn't say that. But it is vulnerable to certain things that a lot of the top tiers don't have to worry about. So if you have like a character like, for example, let's say Kefla, who is a great analog for Teen Gohan. Her JH is massive. Or UI Goku, who has a massive JH and whatnot. They could do stuff like... And that would catch up-tech double jump, or that would catch up-tech backdash and things like that. When Teen Gohan, because this JH is so small, he doesn't necessarily have to... This JH is so small, he kind of has to risk it for the biscuit. Sometimes, you know, Teen Gohan will have a decent amount of advantage where he can do stuff like this, like stuff like that to catch up-tech, and then call an assist. But there's really nothing particularly unique or advantageous about Teen Gohan. I could TK this, and then you can get a mix-up off of it with an assist. But it's really not the best. And everyone at high level who plays this character, you know, like Yasha and I talked about it on stream, it can be a little bit of a pain from time to time. But regardless... because his Oki's not really his strong suit, we'll say that, you really want to make sure that you can kill on every touch. And so if you DR and your opponent dies, that's fantastic. Now, how exactly do we go about utilizing assists and whatnot? Well, let's talk about this team. First thing, when analyzing your assists, is you have to figure out what range do they cover. What is their max distance? This is what I like to do. I like to mess around with this. What is their max distance? How much hit stun do they have? How much block stun do they have? And what does that information and acquiring that information allow my point character to do? So I think about it holistically in a way. I don't just see, like, don't just follow the trend and be like, oh, Vegito A is broken. Okay, well, what about it is broken? So it's 37 frames from full screen. It's going to drive me insane. So it's 37 frames from full screen. And then you have another assist that doesn't quite reach full screen. That reaches about, looks like half screen. So I like to inch forward until I find the distance. So it works from about here. So if I only have basic assists, I need to at least have one dash distance forward. So I need to move forward with this assist. That's going to inform. Now, what's good about this assist is that this assist, 28 frames of block stun, I can actually work with that. That's really, really, really nice. If your character likes fast assists, so characters like Kefla really like fast assists, you kind of have to pay attention to the startup. That startup can be tight, for example. It can be tight for certain mix-ups, but it also yields some advantages, like that, which is really disgusting. So, how does that work? And how do we take advantage of this? Well, this is going to be great, and I could tell just because it hits behind it as well, that this is a fantastic scramble assist. So if I'm in a situation where my opponent is over me, and they're doing like this, and they're kind of like just floating around and then calling assists or whatever, and I'm not really sure what's going on, I'm just going to... Alright, you know what? I'm just going to block and call base Goku. Oh, that bear. That's funny. I did not mean for that interaction to happen, and it still worked out. It was crazy. But, yeah. You just block, call base Goku. Base Goku will take care of the situation, and then from there, pay attention, and you get the freest confirm in the world because of the second thing we're going to test. Hit stun. That's a lot of hit stun. Now this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. This is the easiest confirm in the world. It has a really, really, really big wall bounce. You can literally just run up and... I could probably run up and do something like run up bomb. Let's see. Something like that. I mean, obviously that's not optimal, but that's an idea of what you can do and how much time you have. You know? And that is going to determine a lot of things. The kind of hit stun that you have to work with is actually what's going to determine your damage, and it's what's going to determine your meter gain, and it's going to it's going to determine which assists are going to be the biggest help to you if you're doing things like optimal combos and TOTs. The way an assist hits is very important. You see, this assist is fantastic because there's a lot of corner carry. This has less corner carry. If I have him just second place. Let's see. Ground recovery. You know what? I'll have him down tech, actually. Can I have him down? Oh, I can't. Down tech. Weird. That's ground recovery. Down. There we go. Never mind. I was in the wrong one. There you go. Versus... So here, I have a lot more forward momentum as well. So if I'm doing something like... What if I do, I don't know. Boom, more corner carry than I normally would have otherwise with most other assists, because most assists don't really hit that far and ground bounce long enough or wall bounce long enough for me to be able to confirm from it. The reason why this is important is because you need to be able to know when this assist hits. And when it hits, you need to understand how you're going to confirm from it. So if I'm here... Oops. You know, if I'm here... Oops. I know my smash isn't used. Wow. That's hard for Team Gohan. Can he do that? No, I don't think he can. Pain. Lol. Bomb it is. I wanted to lab this team for a while. That's the only reason why it's on here. And also because I actually like the assist synergy quite a bit. But this, really, really nice. 5M, yeah, I gathered that. But I wanted a bomb. Oops. And that's also why I don't like 5M. I call it the Kefla pain. You know? Thing is, you have a lot that you can do here. And this is going to give Team Gohan quite a bit as well. It's also going to determine how he ends his combos. Because he holds them in place long enough, which tells me that he can do stuff like... Oops. Pain. You could do something like, whatever, jump DR. And you get SKD that way. Which is really great for Team Gohan, because if Team Gohan spends his knockdown smash, which most of his optimal routes do, he would have to spend a bar to actually SKD, which actually hurts his meter gain overall. Having the ability to just do this at the end of a combo really helps out Team Gohan. It helps his damage. And he even hits on the ground. So you could do that. And then into level 1 or level 3. Overall, this assist synergy pretty well. This assist synergizes with Team Gohan pretty well. Now, there does come a caveat. You can't just hang back and do this, like you could with Vegito or with a beam. So if neutral's not your strong point, this assist can actually kind of hurt you in a way. Because for all of its advantages on hit and on block, you actually have to move to use this assist. You can't just do... because that's not going to really help you very much. Especially if your opponent just starts like trying to air you. So if your opponent's doing a movement pattern like this, and they're trying to catch you, it's kind of tough. This won't help you very much. Another bad thing about it is that if I do something like, let's see. Oops, my bad. No, that can't happen. Let's say I want to do something like that. If I'm not careful and Cell's ready, Cell can just start mashing immediately, and I can end up Happy Birthday. Because this assist kind of sticks around for a while. And it does have slower startup. And he does appear in front of Team Gohan from time to time. That's something you want to think about. It's not really that important, but it is something worth noting. Now, what about the other assist? Well, this helps Team Gohan's damage, this helps Team Gohan's pressure, and this helps Team Gohan's meter gain, as well as his corner carry, which he doesn't really need help in that department. What does this do for us? Well, this assist has a lot of unique properties to it. The biggest one is that Vegito jumps into the air almost immediately, which means it's very hard to hit this assist. Not only that, but he appears fairly around the same plane as Team Gohan, which means if you do this, come on game, you can body block. And you could take your turn quite easily, and if they mash, Vegito hits them. So if they try to hit you, you block, they get hit by Vegito A. Because Vegito A has a lot of block stun, like we mentioned. I'm sorry, hit stun. You just convert. Easy peasy. Dash block Vegito A. We will talk about dash block assists in a minute. But that brings us to one of the best ways you could utilize your assists with your movement patterns. A movement pattern that pairs beautifully well with assists is good old dash blocking. Dash blocking helps a lot. Dash blocking is great, 664, 664, because that dash block keeps you safe. If your opponent calls an assist, you know, or if your opponent does something like that, you block. That's good. So, how do we use that to our advantage? Well, what if we just do that? Or, come on. Something like that. Dash block. Dash block. And then your opponent sees you dash blocking. They think you're going to do something. And boom, you're in. You're in. You get a free confirm. They have to reflect out of it. If they're not careful and they try to disrespect it, so they do something like that, well, you're Team Gohan. So fortunately, if they super dash you, they die. And especially if you're ready for it. This is also a way of how... This is also a good segue into how the point character can help determine the strength of certain assists. So Vegito's biggest weakness as an assist is the fact that it has reflectable hit stun. They can reflect out of this, they can disrespect it with Super Dash and whatnot. And so it makes his zoning here a little bit weak because Super Dash is going to go through the assist. Now, I said weaker, or I said weak, but not really, because Team Gohan has an amazing anti-air. This, outside of the corner, is a frame 1 anti-air that hits on frame 9. Which means this is actually faster than pretty much every 2H in the game. And it is invul sooner than 2H. And it doesn't consume smash, unlike 2H. So on hit, no smash. Smash. What does that mean for us? How can we use that? Well, very, very simple. It means that if we confirm this into Spark, they die. Even something like a normal B&B just starts doing way more damage. I haven't even completed my combo. And I'm already at 5k. In the corner. And he can carry them to the corner. If you talk to Jack from the Team Gohan Discord, shoutouts to Jack. He has like over 400 TODs or some shit. He has an enormous amount of TODs, all of them optimal, all of them working on the smallest bodies of the cast. Almost all of them are universal, and almost all of them are 0 bar starts. So you can basically do them from any screen position. This character is a TOD machine. If you get hit by this, and your opponent sparks, expect to die. Hell, sometimes they don't even have to spark. If they have the right assists, you just kind of die anyway. You just kind of die anyway. Oop, that doesn't work. So, keep that in mind. Something like Janemba A, broken with this. Thanks, Banky, for hitting me with that TOD. I hate you. But, this, really, 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 really strong. Now, the existence of that on point is also... It makes this assist actually stronger, because now your opponent's like, haha, well, I'm just gonna dash block. The moment I see Vegito, I'm just gonna super dash. Well, you can't really do that, because if you do that, you're getting anti-air DP'd, and then you die. Which makes this great super dash bait. And that is an example of how this team begins to help in neutral. Another example, granted less dramatic than getting anti-air DP'd or 2H'd, is that Team Gohan has this, and this. Oop. This, and this. Now, this is a medium starter, this is not, but this lasts a very long time. So if they run into this, they just kinda die. Back in the day, that actually used to be Team Gohan's one of probably his highest damage starter. He used to have sparkingless TODs off this thing, because Team Gohan's post-smash roots are really, really, really strong. So let's see. Let's see if I remember how to do this. There we go. And this doesn't even scale like a medium anymore. This scales like a light. So, that's another example. If they super dash you, you can be hanging back. And this is where now your strategy of maybe, oh, I'm just going to do this, is not really so bad, because you see the super dash, boom. Well, with EX. Boom. And then they just die. They just explode. That is a great, great synergy between Team Gohan and assists with not real or key blast block stun. That's actually an advantage that this team has, is that he has such incredible anti-airs and such incredible ways of dealing with Super Dash that it makes it risky to challenge these assists. He's also even pretty good at the Reflect Mind game, because if that Reflect whiffs, and this character lands a medium on you, even without an assist, even with an assist, or without an assist, it still does a lot of damage. And then if he has 3 bars, which he can because he can build a lot of bar on his own, and then you're in a 50-50. You just kind of die. So you'll see, especially against Team Gohan, a lot of people will reflect Vegeta, or will actually just hold Vegito assist and not worry too much about it. So that's pretty good. Now, another way that we can use our assists and whatnot, by looking at how they interact with our situations. A very common round start at high level, especially with this team, you'll see Fenrich do this all the time. Round start, call Vegeta. And that's really, really, really strong, because your opponent can do a couple of things. We'll talk about that particular interaction later on. But for now, I'm going to Dash Block Beam. Dash Block Beam is really good, because you call a beam, your assist is already really far behind you. You've dash blocked, so if your opponent does something, if they mash, if Team Gohan does a lariat assist or whatever, like... Oh my god. Okay. I can hit the assist, but I don't really get anything off of it. And if I do something very, very difficult, if I try to like mash or I try to take my turn, I just get hit. So, why is that in particular important? Well, against this particular round start, this is actually broken because of this. This has a very real possibility, oops, of stuffing the actual assist. Let's see. There we go. See? Let's have him block, actually. It will still hit the assist. Even though I called it later. That's impressive. So, because of its ability to wipe out assists like that, it means that Team Gohan's dash block plus assist is now infinitely superior. Because if they call a beam, Vegeta will still check him. That's really strong. That is probably the second strongest thing about this assist, aside from its hit stun. This assist's ability to snipe assists makes neutral a breeze for you and an absolute nightmare for your opponent. This is not fun. And because of that, now you have a team that works really well in neutral, so you want to use this for your neutral assist. And on block. We'll get there. Really, really strong thing. Now you might be wondering, okay, so basically what you're saying is empty or do something block assist. This is very strong. Yes, in neutral, even this is strong. Doing something like this. Let's see. That. Just jump in, block. Force your opponent to make a decision. Oops, not like that. And then from there, take your turn. See what they do. Most people will try to jump. So, like, let's say I do this. Oh my god, this timing. Let's say I do this and whatnot, and I block. And in response to the assist, because it is rather slow, my opponent just does this. Right? If they do something like that, if they do something like, okay, I'm just going to jump, get the fuck out of here, which is a good idea. God damn it, Tingo. I hate Tingo. I can just air to air. And I can pay attention to what they do. If they do something like IID back, I can jump forward. I can dash block forward. Of course, we're about right here. So I can actually just follow. Come on. I can just follow and punch him in the face. I can wait for him to land. I can Ki Blast. I can 2M. I can do anything I want to him, basically, because now we're playing neutral. We're in zone 0. I can follow him on reaction, which is really, really important. If he tries to jump away, I can super jump forward. Or I can super jump back. If he tries to jump backwards, I can super jump forward, try to air. There's a lot of options here. All of that born from just the free entry into zone 1 from here. And of course, if he blocks the assist, I'm plus 37, it's my turn. Even if it's this assist, like I mentioned before, if I'm ready for it, this character can kill me. Or if I'm ready for it, I can kill this cell with pretty much anything that he tries to do to disrespect me. If he double reflects, I can just dash forward and do nothing, bait the second reflect, which is a great method to do. And if the second reflect whiffs, like I mentioned, he's eating a 2M. I can anti-air DP, or I can 2H on reaction if he decides to super dash, if I'm ready for it. If he tries to run away, you know, I can dash forward 2M, try to snipe his landing. If he IEDs back, I can try to snipe his landing, which is why you see a lot of Team Gohan's dash 2M. This is a pretty good way to actually use the team, and this is how an example of how these assists synergize and harmonize with this team. Now, here's the thing that's unfortunate. I could use this team as an example, but unfortunately every team is unique. So, we're going to go back to the basics. What do these assists do? How much space do they cover? What property are they? And more importantly, what are their startups? Are they good for neutral? Are they good for pressure? You need to determine that. When are these assists at their strongest? And that is when you want to use them. That is when you want to use these assists. You need to figure out when you want to call these assists and when. Now, of course, you can use your movement to deal with assists. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, what do I do if my opponent's team is just too strong? Well, if your opponent's team is really, really strong, for example, if you're on the cell end of this particular spectrum, I am going to try my best not to challenge this. Now, here's the thing. People call their assists for a lot of reasons, but the two big ones, to take their turn and guarantee plus frames, or to do that. To get in, plus assist, win neutral, and then take a turn. And they'll do that with a special, do that with movement, they'll do that with, you know, an IED button, things like that. And that's generally what assists are used for. Assists are there to help you get in. They're not there necessarily to play neutral for you, but they're there mostly to basically to help you play neutral more safely with your points and help you win the point. And the reason why you want to do that is because, like I mentioned, assists are a very, very valuable commodity. You're vulnerable if you spend these 2 assists, and if you do spend these 2 assists, especially if you're a character like Team Gohan, even though you still do a lot of scary damage, there's a lot of scary stuff you can do, you're still ostensibly weaker than you would be than if you had an assist to help you on hit or an assist to help you in pressure. That would help a lot. So the fact that you don't have access to that because you spent both of your assists in neutral, not great. But it happens a lot. But basically, you want to minimize the amount of times you spend doing that, and you minimize that by actually moving. Using your movement, trying to get in, trying to actually aggress against the opponent, you know? Something like that, or like, hey, you know, if you have to use both assists to take a turn, that's fine, as long as it guarantees your pressure, you know, especially if you do something like that. That's fake, but you can bait the reflect, you can do something crazy, you can 50-50, whatever you want to do. Point being is that your assists are going to make all of that possible. So build your team wisely and use your assists wisely. Think about what they do. Think about their range. Think about the amount of hits done. Think about their extensions. There are a whole lot of ways to use them. But more often than not, it's all going to come down to movement. I can't think of a single assist that isn't ostensibly better by being able to do this. Like, every assist paired with this movement pattern, super, super strong. You can even dash block, you can even just like dash block ID in, empty. Or my personal favorite, dash block assist, you know. You could do stuff like that. Dash blocking, you know, body blocks the assist. So things like Broly, for example, won't shred past them. Frieza will, because Frieza's ki blasts are interesting. But, you know, if a Broly's zoning on you, you can just dash block plus assist, you know. The moment you feel the gap, dash block, so that way you can protect the assist. That sort of thing. There's a lot that you can do. But that's an example of how you can use them. Now, it is very important to stress this. This is unique, not only to this team, to these characters, but to this specific team configuration. If I change the assists on any of these characters, the synergy with Team Gohan is going to be different. Not only that, but you have to make sure that Team Gohan's assist also works for your characters. So this character is really, really dumb. How does Vegito like to play? Well, Vegito has this, which is really good. Snipes, you know, snipes assists. So if I know my opponent likes to hang back and snipe and call assists, I can just do... Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to need some bar. And this is where team synergy kind of becomes important. TLDR. Vegito becomes a lot stronger with bar. Team Gohan builds a lot of bar. So, good synergy. You know? So, if I want to play neutral, I can do... Hang on. Let's see. Gotta Tiger Knee it properly. Boom. I'm in. I have free mobility. I have free mix. This character, really, really, really good. And I have a DP assist. Let's see. There we go. That's what you want to do. Nope. Nope. There we go. Call that. Boom. You're in. Boom. You're in. You get DR immediately after. You know, if I do something like that, I can do something like that or that. Pain. That. Pretty good. And you have a lot of fun shenanigans. You can just run up, take your turn. And Vegito's mobility, coupled with his assists, helps him out quite a bit. Another thing on block is, you know, you could do something like... Ooh, let's see if I remember how to do it. This assist might have too much pushback, actually. But because it has too much pushback, you can probably do something like what Yasha does, which is double, or you can... Damn. Forgot how to use this assist. It's been too long. Point is, you can fake cross up, you can double overhead, you can basically float where it looks like you're going to cross up, but instead you stay same side. You can do a lot of stuff like that, especially with the pushback on this assist. Team Gohan doesn't have that much pushback, but Team Gohan has really nice blocks done, especially for left-right mixes. So, and not only that, he's invincible, so if you do this, and they end up trying to tech with DR and they get hit, Vegito's already in the air, which allows him for an interesting confirm in the corner. That's actually really cool, especially because a lot of Vegitos, they like to do this, so that way they can bait the DR. So they'll do, you know, and they'll do stuff like that in order to basically catch you. And if you end up teching the assist, you get a full confirm. Really, really good synergy. He's actually one of the few characters that likes how high Team Gohan can hit because of that reason. So, his pressure becomes scarier, his neutral becomes scarier because now he has something to guarantee his plus frames. If you're not careful, he can jail you down, you know. Boom, neutral, done. That's pretty strong. Now, for base Q is the anchor, so assists don't matter as much. However, remember that we like to bring our anchors in when characters are still alive because we enjoy winning. And you generally don't want to base your game plan around solo play because that tells me that you're basically banking on losing. But now you have interesting synergy, so now you go, let's see. Pain. I wonder if you can actually get that to connect. Not sure. Never really labbed this team before from a base Goku perspective. Point is, it doesn't hurt to have an extra assist to help you out. Especially if you can do curse shit like... Or curse shit, because this is actually cursed. That's cursed. Because your opponent sees the thing they're not expecting to grab. You know? That's actually pretty good. Yeah, nope, it's evil. You know, he also gets plus frames as well, so you can do... I want to cross up. Stuff like that. You know, that can still be 2H, but at least he won't get 2H no matter what, because, hey, you know, you can do... I forgot how Walla did it. There we go, that. It's actually kind of tricky to do. So he used to be able to do something like... There we go, like that. Like, he would be able to, like, fake cross up. And so, yeah, that. That's the timing. This. That. Which would be kind of like between that and... Pain. Sorry. I have a quick tag on. That. That's gross. It's also a pretty good confirm. The only problem is they will 2H if they are familiar with the setup. If they're Cell, they will perfect attack, so be careful. So don't get too obvious with it. But, you know, cool stuff. Even base Goku, the famous great anchor, the great anchor of this season, even he likes having assists to help out his pressure, which is crazy. So the team... Overall, no matter who's on point, functions fundamentally well. You have a lot of options. You'd be surprised, but I've seen Wawa get 2H for that multiple times. So even though it will hit the first few times, it does have a shelf life, so be careful. But this is how I essentially think about all my teams. So I'll actually explain my main team a little bit, since you guys don't really get to see my main team that much. So I can explain the logic that I brought into my main team, how I use my main team, and how I went about figuring out how to use my assists in neutral. We're going to talk about the third and final concept, which is called pins. Pins are really, really, really important. I like calling them pins. They don't really have a word for them, but that's basically when you use your special plus assist. Or when you do something to essentially force your opponent into a position that limits their options. So, yeah. For example... Oh my god. For example, a pin would be... So if I want to call that, you know, I could do this, which is good. Don't get me wrong, I should absolutely do that a lot. But what if I do... They were not expecting the 236H, they blocked the 236H. Now they're holding the assist from behind. It's my turn. I could do that as well. It's kind of gross. That's an example of how I can use my assists. Now you might be wondering, a lot of people use Beerus B. I like Beerus A for Blue Goku. Why do I like Beerus A for Blue Goku? Well, it helps out Blue Goku's confirms. Now, Blue Goku's damage. What do I know about Blue Goku? Blue Goku's damage is really, really, really good when he's in the corner. When he has loopage. When he can do this. Really, really, really good synergy. That's great. I'm sorry, that's really cool. However, mid-screen, if I hit you mid-screen, I kind of have nothing. There's not a lot I can do. I can't even do fancy confirms because this, you know, hits in a particular way it does. I could theoretically... you know, maybe do something like... Damn. Maybe I can catch you there. Maybe if I'm a little bit closer to the corner, I can go into loops, and so on, so on, so on. But at that point, you know, that's after a super dash. Super dash kind of eats into the combo timer and scales the combo. So I could theoretically do stuff like that, but, you know, still, the damage is not really fantastic there. I also have no way to convert this meterlessly. So even though I have an unreactable command grab, I would have to do this. And what sucks about this is that it consumes my knockdown, which means I'm spending 2 bars to knock down. And on top of that, on that knockdown, I'm only plus 30. I'm only plus 18. This has 35 frames of startup, so I could theoretically do something like. And then meaty like this. But, you know, if they're mid-screen, they can back-tech and they'll avoid it just like that. Or they can up-tech. Like, there's not a lot I can do here. So you have to be very super careful. Blue Goku, mid-screen, not that strong. Now, I have some mid-screen confirms, but, like, even his confirms off this are not that great. And unfortunately, that's a common, you know, whiff punish. And his confirms off Dragon Rush are not that great as well. However, in the air, he does have this, which drags him back down to the ground without consuming my JH Smash. That's cool. But it's a little tricky to time. See? I have to time it very carefully if I'm not careful. So, if I'm in the corner, though, how much damage does Blue Goku do if I'm in lag and I can't loop? Well, that's pretty good damage. Maybe I could do something like that. Not bad. Not bad. $3.980 or 3.980. That's not too bad. My meter gain was okay, I guess. Maybe I can push my meter gain a little bit. You know, maybe I'll be able to do. Hang on, let me see. Maybe I can push my meter gain a little bit. With a little dash. I'm trying to loop. $39.7. I don't really get that much bar though. So that's not really helping my team. It's not really helping me. You know, that's not great meter gain. And unfortunately, that meter gain gets, you know, nerfed if I can't do this. You know, if I can't do that, even if I end in an EX move, that's still pretty good meter gain, to be honest, especially off of 2L. If I want to build extra bar, I can do smashless loops with Blue Goku, I know that. You know, so on, so on, so on. I could do that. However, assists are kind of nice, because if I have an assist, I can do... that. Now I get 2 bars. And I get almost 4.7k meterlessly. That's 2 touch off of a JH. Free. That is disgusting. That is really high damage. Off of what is essentially a B&B. Even with assists. Now, if I do this though, at least I get some extra damage. So that's pretty cool. I could also do that as well. And what's cool about BRSA is that BRSA gives me a very unique extension that I can't really do with a lot of characters. I'll show it to you now. You guys have probably seen Hook do this with Piccolo. So what if I get a Dragon Rush and I really want to kill? Let me preserve some hits then. Whatever. Yeah! I can get 2 bars there. if I optimize that a little bit. I could probably get 2 bars there if I optimize that a little bit. Yeah. I forgot what the optimal route that I came up with was. But, yeah. That's really good damage off of a DR. This, if I can get that second bar, this will probably kill. I think that was it, actually. Let me see. Yep, there, and then I could just level 1. Or I can just level 1 there. I could probably, you know, just, yeah, shoulder level 1. It's cool, get the 2 bars. 1-1, that's enough to close out a character. So if you're already at half life and, you know, you're not expecting something and you get thrown, you just die. And that's not very hard. That's not a hard link at all. I don't have to rely on my loops. I could probably optimize it if I add loops, but I don't need to. And that's what's great about this particular assist and how I like to use Beerus A. What's also really cool is that he aids my confirms in a lot of different ways. For example, I could do stuff like this now. Oops. It's been a while since I played this team. I got 3,500. Got corner carry off of a super dash into my loops. That's cool. I like that a lot. And most importantly, I can convert off my assist, off my command grab for free. And then so on, so on, so on. So now I get a full combo that I can keep and potentially go into level 1. And I'm sorry, forgot to level 1 there. But yeah, you could do stuff like that. That's really, really important. That's really potent. That makes my pressure a lot scarier. And that makes my pressure a lot scarier. And it makes me much more of a threat even mid-screen, which is something that Bluku desperately needs. What's really cool is that he can easily pair the assists together. The assist has insane hit stun. So we have to look at the way the assists like to hit. The closer it is, the better. So what that tells me is I need to use my movement to get in. But it turns out Bluku is very mobile. Probably my favorite thing. Stuff like that. Because if you can whiff a lot of people, especially if you're a cell, I can mix. But more importantly, most people are going to 2H. So you might be wondering, that looks like a free 2H. Well, you're kind of right. It is. But what if I do this? And I pair that with, say, Kefla. Let's say if I get it to whiff. That 2H is not really going to hit anything if I'm here. And then the assist capitalizes on the fact that you just whiffed a 2H, which is minus 46, depending on the character. Let's see how minus cell is. Minus 46. So I can do little mix-ups like that. And then I can actually hit you whenever I want. And because I'm Blue Goku, I can control my angle. I know which angle I want to hit. And you can do little mix-ups from neutral like that. Some characters will let you do specials plus assists. If I'm in the air, I can easily go, ooh. You know? I'm jumping. He doesn't have that much mobility. He's not like Bardock, unfortunately. But that's okay, because this is so fast that while they're looking at me, Beerus just kind of comes and decks him in the face. You can do some fun stuff. And that's how this team likes to play neutral. Now, unfortunately, because Beerus needs to be close, I do, in fact, need to use my movement. But that's okay, because you should be using your movement anyway with Blue Goku. And what's really cool is that you can actually choose whether or not they get to interact with that. And of course, the same goes for Kefla. Now, how does Kefla work? Well, Kefla is my full screen assist. If I do something like... wouldn't be able to convert, but if I'm about here... boom. That's cool. If I go I can at least do something. That's pretty neat. I can go into Zoom. Or I can get dive kick. I can get Oki after that. That's pretty fun. You know? If I hit them, I can actually do stuff. So I can do, let's see. Pain. Goku. There we go. And then, of course, if my assists synergize well... Now, here's another thing that I notice about Blue Goku that I really like. Match start. Not round start. Match start. 5M hits. So if I hit with 5M... Boom. Not only do I get corner carry, but I get loops. Mid-screen loops. And so on, so on, so on. That's pretty cool. And just like Beerus, I can convert off my command grab. So if Beerus dies, I'm still a threat mid-screen. Now, of course, this isn't as good. Because I don't get the cool dive kick extension, which is neat. But it's good enough. Good enough for me. I lose out on some damage, but that's okay. So, this is an example of how my team works. Now, my team is very, very functional. Because this assist, because it's so fast, also functions defensively. So, if they try to come near me, I can just call this defensively. I can dash block plus Kefla. And what's really cool is because this is fast, most people don't notice it, or don't pay attention to it. I can call this late. So I can wait till they actually try to do something. And then just block, call Beerus, and you'd be surprised how often that hits me. This team synergizes very, very well. I won't touch on the DHC synergy because that's not why we're here. But Blue Goku benefits a lot. He basically gets everything he needs to be a real threat in the point war. He gets his damage, he gets his meter gain, and most importantly, he starts building meter and giving resources to my other characters. Now, I do play Beerus and Blue Goku. I'm sorry, I play Blue Goku and Kefla. Both of them give a lot of bar to Beerus. Beerus likes bar. Kefla gets 2 assists that she really likes as well. This is very good. This is very good. I can also play B assist for Blue Goku if I really want to. But the reason why this is good is because I can... Ooh, I had too much blocks in there. Press 1 if you got hit. I can basically choose a side. Fake. Cross up. And it is very hard to react to. Yeah, I don't hit you guys with my gross shit. What's really cool is that Kefla, I like to do this on Oki from time to time if they don't have 7 bars. This is my main team, yeah. So, I could do something like, let's see if I can do it. Trying to remember the route. Pain. Gotta delay it more. It's been a while since I've worked for this. It's not even muscle memory anymore. Pain. I'll go for the easy one. Fuck it. Ugh. Really? Pain. It's been so long since I've gone for this route. Whatever. Point is, I can get almost 4K there, build almost 2 bars off that, and still get SKD. That's the point with the JH5 link. It's really nice. Really, really cool. You can thank Viz for inspiring that route. One thing that's really done, because remember, what do we have to look for? We have to look for how the assist hits, the startup of the assist. What about the hit stun? That is a ridiculous amount of hit stun. In fact, that is so much hit stun. I can whiff auto combo and still connect. One more time. Absolutely dumb. Absolutely dumb. Now, it is a pop-up, so I have to be careful with how I use it. That's going to alter my roots. Kefla likes grounded roots. Because if she gets grounded roots, let's see if I can... Gotta call her earlier. Ugh. There we go. I can do that. Get another 6H in there. Got to be careful with the hit stun, but yeah. I can get another 6H in there, while Beerus sometimes hits too high. So that'll determine what kind of roots I can go for with Kefla. No damage, by the way. What's really cool, though, is that Kefla doesn't really need assists for this. She has mix-ups, and so she doesn't necessarily go for the mix. And not only that, she's not really that greedy for bar as well. So what's really cool about this is that because she's not greedy for bar, I don't have to use the assists this way, which frees me up to actually using it for Oki. You know, stuff like that. Or... stuff like that. Like, you have a whole bunch of different confirms. You know, I can go for fake into that. What's really neat is that depending on the way it hits, I can do... because that looks like an overhead. So a lot of people stand block this, and I just go low, which is really fucked up. You know, double overhead. And of course, you know, so on and so on. You guys get the point. Now, there was something cursed. Let's see if I can do it. Those of you in my server know where this is going. Yeah, those of you in my server know where this is going, huh? Yeah. If I call this at the right time, by the way, like, I did it on Kefla. Let me see if I can get it on Kefla, because it is rather difficult. I haven't mastered it yet. But, yeah. See. That right there hit cross up. Yeah, this, where I looked and I stayed on the side that I'm on, actually hit on the side that Beerus hit them on. That's a cross up. That is cursed. But because it's so fast, you know, I have options. Oops. I have options I can do. And you can't even see what's going on because I'm purple. I can push you out. And of course, I can do this off any touch. Hey. Yes, yes, it's not cross-up protected. If you want, you can look at it in the, I think, in the tech channel. Hey. Hey. Nope. Walk back by them. This hits meaty. PR. Cross up, although that can sometimes be a little tricky. Pain. There we go. Stuff like that. Really cool. That's really fun. I like Zoom Zoom. I like Zoom Zoom mix-ups a lot, but I don't do them often because, honestly, 2L5L is enough. But yeah, that's really, really cool. Now, how does Beerus use this? Well, both of my characters, like, let's take a look at Kefla's meter game really quickly. With a very easy combo, two bars and 4K. That's a lot of bar, especially solo and still getting sliding knockdown. If I get another one, like let's say I get another inoptimal touch, like now I'm at 4. So why is that cool? Well, because Kefla has a lot of damage. So let's say I do something like a Super Dash, right? Or I'm sorry, a Dragon Rush, and I do this. Now I have Beerus level 3. Look at the damage. And I have a 50-50. On top of my normal orb shenanigans. So, Beerus' weakness is neutral. But now, he has this, and it brings him in. And honestly, what's cool about this is that if I have an assist, I don't have to worry about knockdown so much. Beerus also benefits enormously from assists. So there are two types of knockdowns that he can actually get. The biggest knockdown, or the most common knockdown he'll get, is this. Pain. Fuck it, it's just this. But notice how kind of brings him back a little bit. That will hit meaty, sure, but that distance is kind of huge, not really that great, and the knockdown isn't that long as well. I mean, it's decent, but it's not the best knockdown in the game. So that's cool. However, what's really nice is that if you notice, he didn't build a lot of bar by himself. What if he does stuff like this? Assists, let me do this. So now I get more damage and more meter. More importantly, is I can do stuff like this. And now, this changes the type of Oki I can do. And that's how I get that. Pretty fun. I like that. So now, Beerus becomes just a little bit more threatening. More importantly, these assists are a huge help. Because I can now do that. Which is fun. Call and assist, dash, convert, that's fun. Especially off of full screen assist. He's one of the few characters that can do that. That's really fun. That helps out his neutral quite a bit. And not only that, it helps his mobility, because Beerus is not a very mobile player. This does not move. You know, he has nothing that really advances except his 2M. And this. So now, I can basically do the special plus assist shit. And do that. Oh my god! I was actually still a conversion. That's really funny. Oh. And no, we don't need more Beerus players, to be honest. Wow, that still has hit stuff. I wonder if I could jump cancel. Whatever, I'll add that on my own time. But that's fun. That's really, really fun. His neutral becomes a lot more threatening. You know, he has a lot more protection in neutral as well. If he wants to EX, he can now for free. He gets conversions off of inoptimal hits. And that's really, really cool. My goal with Beerus is to carry them to the corner. Assists let me exist in neutral. I can do this. Paul assists. And then do my thing. Oh, thank you, Bamkey. That was really nice of you. You didn't have to do that, bro. I appreciate it. You are OD, my friend. But yeah, you guys are starting to get the point. The point is, this team is hella busted. Hella busted. I would recommend changing your mind. He's not that good. But yeah, he's great. He's great, but not good. Kind of. I don't know. He's... he's not... He's alright. In the grand scheme of things. But... you can just do that 3 times and it's really, really funny. But, yeah. Now, before we move on to the VOD portion of the evening, I will tell you guys one little secret. I will show you guys one little dirty setup. Okay? You guys ready? Chat? You guys know where this is going? That's fun. I get him out, sure. I whiff a super, but now he's in his strongest position. Comes out with Oki. I can safe jump there. I could theoretically do a lot there, to be honest. I haven't even lapped all the options that I have there, but the point is this is very, 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 very fun, and I would come in my strongest position. I get Blue Goku out, and the reason why I love that... Let's see. I remember, hang on, it has to be half a bar. If I have half a bar, which I probably will from playing neutral... Damn, that's actually tricky. Pain. I wanted to see if I can squeeze some extra damage. Pain. I'm bad at this game, guys. I'm sorry.
That's not very encouraging.
I'm bad at this game. I don't know why you guys are watching it. I'm not delaying enough. I forgot the timing. Delaying too much. Ah, fuck it. Why? Dude, oh my god. Been a while. For those of you that don't play Blue Goku, by the way, 214L loops are actually much harder than any other loop he does. Like, it's actually not easy because the timing is way tighter. Pain. Let's see if I can get it. I almost had it too. Sadness. I really need to play this team more. There we go. An unreactable command grab. An unreactable command grab into almost 5k into Beerus Oki. That is the meanest shit I could think of. Like, that is actually cruel. It's actually really fucked, to be completely honest. I would love to watch you play this team more. You won't, unfortunately. I don't play this team as often as I should, but I have other teams I need to play, and then most of the time I play on stream, I'm usually evaluating people. I'm not hitting people with this team. Not unless I'm fighting like Kasuga or Yasha or anyone like that. Like, this is my competitive team. This is the team I go into high level competition for. But yeah, I haven't really competed in a while. So, you know, I'm out of practice with it. Sorry, man. But this team... to be honest, I say that, but I don't know how good those matches will be because they are in lag. So I would be very careful with what you wish for, to be honest. Alright, Ken, first to 5, me and you. Nah. I mean, I don't mind playing you, but I'm not going to do it with this team. I'll probably do it with my Cell team. You don't understand, bro. I literally only pull this team at, like... This is the team that I would pull out if I were going to fight, like, Wawa offline. Like, this team is overkill in a lot of ways. Like, I don't like it. I mean, I love this team because it's really fun, but I don't like how degenerate this team can be sometimes. Like, and I don't like the fact that, like, it can leave me with very bad habits. Like, I became a significantly better player when I started playing my evaluation teams. I gotta do it again. So this isn't the kind of team that I wanna play. The closest to degeneracy that I will get, if you really, really want to know, would be, at least to my students and my subscribers, would probably be no, not that team. This team. This is the closest to degeneracy I would get. Because at least I don't develop bad habits with this team. But this team is still extremely strong. Like, the synergy is really, really good. You get really, really dumb shit, you know. Maybe I'll have a casual stream. The thing is that, like, you guys, like, I've noticed that I haven't had a lot of people showing up lately for stuff, and I guess, like, cause school and whatnot, it's busy, shit like that. But if you guys are really, 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 really interested, and it depends, you guys would have to show up for this, because otherwise I'm not gonna bother. I could probably do, like, a lab stream where I sit and I actually lab various teams that I want to play and lab characters that I want to play and synergies, and you guys can see how I come up with mix-ups, my process, you know, what I practice in the lab, that sort of thing. No one does. No one does, but honestly, I love 18. Like, she has probably my favorite combo in the entire game. Let's see if I can do it. Let's just do this. Like, honestly, I don't know what it is, but this combo is just satisfying to hit. Ah, pain. Waste it up. Pain. It's very, very hard to get that Ki Blast in. Because you have to make sure you keep the height without dropping too much when you 5H. Yeah, otherwise you can just drop it altogether. I'll do it without the Ki Blasts. Oops, messed up. Called too early. Called too, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Gogeta's Hearts of Time. That's a bit of a tricky timing. There we go. That's the link. Fucked up. There we go. I love this combo. It's so disrespectful. It is so disrespectful. I love it. And then if you have like an extra bar and whatnot, you can go into level 3. You go into super, you could DHC. If I want to keep the same side after like I Dragon Rush, I could do like... Oh, pain. You do that into level 3 as well. If I want to keep the same side. It's really, really fun. If I want to knock down... If I want to knock down, it's the same combo. But you just air JDR. And then you go into 18 pressure, which is fun. You know? I have a lot of fun with this team. Like, this character is one of my most fun characters. I consider her my 4th, put it that way. Like, I really love her. And I want to get better at her, and she makes me better at the game. Like, she's really fun. Like, this combo, it's so jank. Disrespect. I'm gonna go into level 3, which is just fun. But yeah, that's another example, you know. This assist, reach really nice, they have good reach. Her neutral's pretty bad, this helps. Her air-to-airs kind of suck, this helps. You know, this is really fun. You know, this is really fun because then you hide Kefla. It's really cool. You know, you can do fun stuff on block, like if they block or whatever. You guys should get the point now about using your assistant neutral. Really, this video, or this VOD, comes down to one thing and one thing only. I just want to see less of this. No more of this. No more of this, please. I want to see this. I want to see this. I want to see that. Well, not that. I want to see this, you know? No, she's easy. As long as you remember her rules, she's pretty easy. Cursed. You know, if I'm really gross. Who here got hit? Press 1 in the chat if you got hit. Because I can just honestly frame trap as well. Like, I don't have to DR you. Delicious.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You thought she couldn't? Oh, by the way, that's another thing I forgot to tell you about something about Beerus being cursed, by the way. If he hits you with a certain setup, and the orb appears right behind, like right above you, he actually has solo 6M confirms that take almost 4K. It's pretty gross. Honestly, the meanest thing that you can do is probably... Hang on, this. That. Because this is so mean. Oh, no, not that. God, I love 17. I love how you're minus 17 when you call him. And then you can give yourself mix. It's kind of fucked. I'm sorry, I'm having too much fun. But the point is, yeah, nope. Yeah, gross. The point is, 18 is fun. And synergy with your teams are fun. That's a really good one, because a lot of people like to reflect here. So I'll just go... Hey. This character is unblockable, to be honest. Especially mid-screen. Let's see if I can get to hit. I used to do a mix where I can get the like her JM to hit like right like here. Like right, it's hard to describe. It's like right on top of the opponent's head where they couldn't tell if it was left or right. Maybe I'll have him stand, actually. Because most people will stand block. There you go. There you go. And I could choose the timing as well. Yeah. Ken, yes! That was it! There it is! There it is! That hit cross up. This stream should really be called Ken Shows His Cursed Mix-Ups. Did you get hit, T? That got cross and protected. Never again. Yep. I will download all your mixes. Yeah, you could, but here's the beautiful thing about my mixes. Hey. By the way. Yeah. My favorite mix-ups. Let's see how plus I am, actually, if I do this. -3. +3. +14. That's cursed. Because if you reflect the assist and whatnot, you have to go for the double reflect, but she has a standing low. So if you double reflect, you can actually just die here. What if I do this? Oh god, now I'm having mix-ups. Guys, what does the stream become? What does the stream become, guys? It's actually really gross. Mean. And she can frame trap there. Let's see. What can I do there? Yep, I could probably grab. Oh god, wait, can I do this on screen? It's a little bit less good in the screen. Oh, wait a minute. What if I do... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Guys. What if I do... that, right? What if I do that? What if I do... If I do... Mean! What if I do... Okay, what if I'm in the corner? Because I can do that. Yes! Second dash block plus assist. Oh, this is fun. I love labbing 18 mix-ups. Because they all work. Please stop, we already got hit. But now you guys see why I stagger so much. But you guys be grateful. I'm never going to use these mix-ups on you guys. I'm never going to do that to you unless you block. There's only one candidate that does get hit by it, though. And that's going to be T! T's going to make me pull out my mix-ups. Come on, T. Let's go. No, I'm kidding. The thing that they don't tell you about those mix-ups, by the way, that make them especially cursed... the thing that makes them especially cursed is that they make everything else your characters do very difficult to react to. So, like, if your opponent techs every DR, but then you hit them with a really fucked mix-up, it makes their ability to tech DR a lot more difficult. Because now they don't know what to expect. Tohon Vegeta... Oh, no. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. What you should do is you should play Teen Gohan 18 base coup, so that way you can threaten the legs 50-50, and if they guard cancel, you just call 18 and they die. We're gonna see where I can find a good VOD for us to watch. Ken as evil as Kane? No, Kane is especially evil. Kane plays Gotenks. At the very least, you don't see me playing Gotenks. Because I will find some cursed shit with Gotenks if I touch that character. I will hunt for it and I will find it. See, we'll do this. Let's see, there we go. I should really buy a stream deck so that way I can have seamless transitions into these. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to see how these players use their assists. We're going to point out their neutral, decisions when using their assists, when to use it, when to call it. We'll do a couple of matches of these, and then we can head out.
Back over Kasuga. Kasuga starting to feel the pressure now. He's like, yo, I can't lose this, man. Let's go.
Too right. Definitely wants to
So both of them have really degenerate teams. Gila's team doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but we're just not going to talk about that today.
2 to go.
Yeah.
So right here, right off the bat, you have a very, very, very interesting round
This is
start.
interesting. 2 right. Yep. His team. He's done 2. 2 to go.
So right here, you have Gila, who decides to, I believe, 5S, and he calls Broly. So 5S ends up pinning down, stuffing any assist that Kasuga might call, and then Broly comes in to plus enough to take his turn. But look right that, Kasuga reflects. That's how you deal with, that's why I tell you guys you have to reflect assists in neutral if you can.
This is an interesting one.
Very, very strong round
I
start.
always see Yamcha as an anchor character, but he definitely has some tools.
But you see what I mean, where you're vulnerable? Notice how Gila isn't really coming in when he doesn't have an assist. His assist just came back, so he can get Super Dash mix here.
Quite effective as a point
But
so.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a scramble. Right there, another Super Dash mix plus Vegito. Very, very strong.
The assist is gonna catch him. And sending that Kefla down.
Calls barrier to protect Kefla, just in case anything cursed happens. He also goes for a barrier DR because I guess he was expecting him to land
That
it.
was a bit weird. Like, the Yamcha looked the other way.
There we go. Bait. He was trying to do that setup that I told you guys with 5S into Kefla Ball, but with 21. Really, really, really strong. Use your neutral tools in conjunction with your assists. It really does help.
Hey, I think the game believed that he was on the other side. Kind of weird.
Okay. Go knockdown time.
We have 18 here. Oh, he just goes for the Dragon Rush. No 18 necessary.
Does connect. Going to be some nice damage here for Kasuga and a good position as well. Next hit. Need one more to close out on this Yamcha.
Barrier protects him.
no,
Kasuga down
no.
text
I
buttons.
think he's going to snap in. Yamcha, maybe? That's been the character that's given him problems as well, so honestly, I would do it.
To be honest, Vegito is giving problems as well, so do you really want to do this now? He's gonna go for the mix! Time for that Android 18 mix. Of course, Gila has Spark. Kasuga looking for another opening that should give him the one touch. If he gets this one that is on the same side, straight to the Spark. Gila gets back, and you do not want to block. Ooh, no, that was a mistake. But he's gonna cover it. He's gonna cover it. Yeah, that's safe.
Yeah. Yamcha, Spirit Ball is too annoying. It's actually punishable.
So let's go back to assists.
Just make it not even worth trying. She might
here.
get hit and then etc.
So 18 sparking and assists.
Okay.
Dash block plus assist. Very strong.
Nice. Let's go.
You wanted a dash block? Watch one.
Going for the knockdown here.
Right there.
Barrier,
18
wake up,
barrier
assist
plus
behind
assist.
it.
Very
Defending
good.
it out here, but the open up.
But you guys starting to see exactly how they use their... Like, for example, Kasuga's not going to use barrier assist the same way he's going to use every other assist. Like, barrier assist is going to be different, but these assists pair very nicely with barrier as well.
Absolutely.
Really, really, really strong. He's taking advantage of the synergy of his team.
One more L against the woman. That's been his life.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He still can't talk. Still can't talk to women, bro. He's had that problem since day one, and he definitely can't fight them, as you just saw. Man got punched up. But let's go. The Vegito Brody team. Interesting shell.
Vegito
Yeah,
peppering
I'm
with key
wondering
blast.
how
So that's very
Vegito
good.
paired with the
So the reason why Vegito's doing this right here is because, like I mentioned before, as we know, this stuffs assists. He is trying to bait Kasuga into calling his assists and then stuffing it. But Kasuga's going to backdash 5M. Very, very, very smart.
That was a 5M start. Might be dead. That is dead, I think, Terrence. That 1-on-1 is really, really hurt. Yeah, that's dead.
Yeah, I don't know. Her air level 1 isn't that nice. Still alive.
Woo, just.
Her air level 1
Reflect
is
the
not-
assist. But that's exactly right here. You just saw why I tell you guys to be very, very, very careful when your assists are reflected. Because Gila did what you guys do a lot. Except he stopped. He dash blocked. He tried to 2M. But because he reflected, it was just a free out. Now this was risky on Kasuga's end. This almost didn't work. But you have to be careful with that. Because when you reflect an assist, you essentially nullify a lot of the block stun. Especially if it's a higher block stun assist. This is about the same if you block it or reflect it. But you have more options if you reflect it.
Level 1 is not as good as the ground one.
Oh no, that, yeah, that,
That's
you're la roue libre, so that was a bit too.
uh,
You're la roue libre, so that was a bit too much, Gila. And now
Okay.
he's down to Zebroly himself. Can he save the day, or will Kasuga?
deflect. So here's another example. I don't like zoom zoom plus assist, but you can do that. Yeah, we're just not gonna talk about it.
Will Kasuga get
Another
his
zoom
own-
zoom, but this time another zoom zoom. She looks so confused with 21 assist here. Basically catches Broly vanishing. This is why you can't vanish at a zoom zoom mix-ups, by the way.
What about a 21? Alright, let's go. Z Broly only. Old armor. Jilla, but we know how good Jilla is when it comes to the brink of the beat.
Okay,
the paint train!
I'm not watching this.
Listen, I'm
not
telling
watching
you,
this
he was watching
violence.
TV, he was watching Dragon Ball Super, he was just sipping on his protein shake.
Alright, yeah, this is violence.
Coming through with
I
the
can't show
paint
this on
train.
stream, it's
Train
TOS.
from the timeline.
It's
That-
TOS.
Okay. Jilla,
Oh no,
the stagger!
yo, it can happen to you.
Yeah, it can happen.
Oh no!
Big drop. Big drop right there.
Yeah, he's gonna swap 218, I believe, for the mix behind this. I mean, doesn't get the big mix, of course, but just wants to get that blue life back. Oh no! That should be
not like
dead!
this. Not like this yet, because he's going to hand you a present right now. Wait. Oh my goodness. What is this damage back? Dead.
Ah!
Boom.
There you
Is
go.
he doing this? Is he giving us a final game?
Alright. We're gonna do one more game.
5-3 win!
That's cursed. I don't want to watch that. That's too cursed for me. But
Broly.
we're gonna give another opportunity to see how these top players use their
Got the win
assists.
second, right?
There is a man. Super. Plays, you know.
Oh, just no, like in the Wisha might be more.
Yasha versus Noka. Oh. We'll watch one more. Moral of the story, just play Zebroly. Yeah, sadly, yeah.
We're fighting that's
To be what I played
Unless you like having fun. If you like having fun, maybe don't do it.
maybe the point. I mean, him looking for solutions. He's been playing, a couple of, couple of the characters. Expecting the fourth one to be Kane, but it's him. You should stick with Gotenks, especially now. Not sticking.
Alright, here's another example of how we can see assists being used.
okay. I see.
Silver Blades is actually really good for having
And,
unique
you know,
synergies
he's
with this
there
team.
on a world scale, this guy's been putting in work, but this time it looks like Kane is rocking the Gotenks team. So Gotenks was his guy in previous seasons of the game. And Silverplate's playing Jiren? Okay, I see.
Yeah, he's playing quite a few. We've seen actually him. That was last week. Yeah, he played Jiren and Beerus
I
because
remember,
he did some of the gropey stuff. I remember now. But yeah,
So
Kane,
right there, very,
Last
very,
week,
very
yeah,
strong synergy here.
Jiren and Beerus
I
So
remember.
basically,
Yeah.
did some of the
Jiren goes for a grab. He jumps, which is the correct answer. However, Beerus B is actually going to catch him, which is really effective. So you have this double layer of, okay, this is going to create some ambiguity, where you may not necessarily know if a grab is coming, but if you do react to the grab successfully, this is going to catch him and leave him
I
plus.
remember now.
And of course,
But yeah,
he gets to
Kane,
continue his
he
turn.
actually
His
tweeted
turn.
this week. He tweeted, "I think I've been dumb not sticking with Gotenks." He's like, "Why did I?" Because a lot of players were telling him you should stick with Gotenks, especially now. And he literally tweeted this week, like, "I was stupid not to listen to you guys. Gotenks is the truth." So let's see what kind of
Bam.
revelation did he get.
Fam, I remember
Good night,
the
Divisor.
DMs. I was talking to Kane literally after the latest patch dropped. We were talking about Gotenks, and I said to him, "You should just play him in the national championship." He was like, "I don't know, man. The combos are kind of difficult and stuff." But bro,
Yeah.
we see Katsunoko doing those. We see Subatomic Sabers doing that every week.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Kane has the execution to do it. So
Cursed.
let's go.
All
what I
right.
love.
We're not here to watch combos.
This. Do it.
Very good Twitch.
Oh my goodness.
Granted, I was a little risky because he's in Spark, but
Can I
that's
get the
okay.
extension? Yeah. Can he kill? Nah.
Right here, you got a combo extension.
Against Jiren.
Another combo extension. This time a little bit more optimal,
Oh,
Saves
Oh,
a meter.
He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive.
but unfortunately he dies.
If he switched to a more damage in level 1, I don't know who does more out of Nappa or Jiren level 1. I think it might have killed, but yeah, Beerus level 1 is not the greatest.
Yeah, not the greatest indeed, and that is still a dead GT Goku.
Right there,
Greatest.
as I told you about.
Yeah, not
Dive,
the greatest indeed, and
J2S plus G2H plus assist.
dead GT
Boom covers a large area of ground.
Goku.
This actually seeds, forces the opponents to retreat, lest they want to lose their neutral.
taking the.
And then, of course, Kane responds with Team Gohan. Team Gohan being invul forces and reaching so high forces Beerus to block and makes that super dash safe.
Now Kane.
And now Kane
Tries to get
goes
his
ahead
good
and
tanks,
takes his
one of
turn.
the things with good tanks.
These are examples of how you want to use your assist in conjunction with your movement, guys. Like, it's okay to use your assist when moving back or moving forward, but you don't want to double jump and sit in place and call an assist and hope it hits, because that's not really an effective way to play.
Ghost Oki going to be spark up.
Oh,
Okay.
that's okay.
That's gonna be a lot of meter beam turns. Like, you know, Beerus. Look at this key blast. One more,
love
yeah,
this.
one extra bar, let's go.
I love the stream chat. I just looked over and just saw Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right,
Yeah, that's actually a good one, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Odds. Wait,
Right,
if
look at
did
He actually
level
could have
two
killed.
If he did level 2 with Beerus, I think that
Yeah,
would've
that's
been
true. Why didn't he do? Yeah, I'm not sure. But the bad decision for him.
Right here.
Beerus. I think
Yeah,
that would've
that's.
been-
Calls Team Gohan to make himself plus so that way he can whiff something and then get air dash JL. This is pretty much a 50-50.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But the bad decision for him, you're right, Terrence.
Really, really,
Let's
really
see.
tricky to stuff the
Kane
block,
gonna
but that's an
get
example
as
of how
much
you can make
damage
your
as he
characters a
This
little bit
has
more
got a
threatening on block, especially when
level
they're yellow
one
and
to
the
level
assist is yellow.
5 potentially to get this one, but yeah, that's not gonna be enough. Just gonna get the Oki.
Yeah, this one here for sure. Alright. Cool.
Pain. I felt that.
Wait, yo!
Listen,
I'm a
listen,
teenager, I
Jiren.
don't care!
Jiren,
Super
man,
dash plus
you didn't
assist,
get
still
the real
effective, but
Gohan in the
remember,
tournament.
as that we talked about the last master class,
Man said Koi!
always
Wait,
better to
wait,
reflect.
yo!
Reflect the super dash.
Listen,
I'm a
Listen,
teenager, I
Jiren.
don't care!
It's risky to do that against Beerus, though, because even though you reflected him, if you reflect again and whatnot, he can come back in with 2M, and 2M, you have to stand block in order to reflect.
Jiren,
So that's a
you
little bit
didn't
risky.
get
I
the
understand
real
why
Gohan in
Kane
the
was like, maybe I'll
tournament
just block.
power, okay? If this guy showed up, you were in trouble, fam. This is the real Gohan. Alright.
Good super dash.
Oh, great
Get the
answer.
super dash. Yeah, it is a good answer, but you can't use it always against Beerus' force, you know.
Yeah. Right, get this one into the Dragon Rush, that's gonna be good, yes. Ghost Oki!
Okay, here it is. Nice. Oh no. He could have got an easier conversion.
But let's see how Nappa uses
But he's
Beerus.
Not good tanks for long enough.
He's in one stuff, right?
So this is an example of a character that uses an
Yeah,
assist
he's-
very
I mean, you know,
effectively.
he's played good tanks for
He
long
is
enough
going
that
to
it's hard
use
swap that
Beerus
muscle
in order to
memory
keep
on
himself
the-
safe while he
let's
can
see.
plant
Yeah,
Cyberman
Nappa tries
assists.
getting one.
So that way he can basically plant his other assists.
Oh my goodness.
But Kane finds a good answer, brings a bleeding Beerus in. Very smart.
Okay, that's right.
Nice.
And that's a kill.
We're gonna get some damage. That's gonna be a dead Beerus.
Yeah.
Yeah, combos.
I mean, remember, Tyrant, we don't say that about Kane. We wait.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Kane is the
Remember
king
time.
of. If this is your first time watching a Kane match, guys, he is the king of making us curse him on commentary, right? He is gonna drop combos whenever
Very
we say,
good.
"Oh, that's gonna
Notice
kill."
his movement. His
he just-
movement is beautiful, but at this point we just have a solo
He's
solo
winning the day.
match.
Or saving the day, maybe. That should be
Oh,
enough to
that's
kill.
death.
Yes, level 1.
Boom. And there you have it, guys. These are some small ideas and small strategies to start thinking about your assists a little bit differently. Your homework this week, I want you guys to go into the lab today or tomorrow before the evaluations, and I want you to think about your assists and think about the way you can use them. Think about movement. Think about the ways you can think about what we talked about. Think about their reach. Think about their startup. Think about how you can use them. Think about their hit stun, their block stun, and how you can abuse that so that way you can get a little bit better. That is going to be it for us, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this wonderful masterclass. You guys are great. If you guys are interested and you want to continue supporting us, please go ahead and either subscribe or, of course, you guys are free to donate to the stream. Every single donation helps us, so that way we can go ahead and make this a little bit more stable so we can do this more often for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see how you guys do against the return of Bamkey. I'll see you guys later.